everyone, I'm Natalie, aka the Vegan Veteran. Finally got round to doing the cheese episode. It's taken a little while because we've had to go around a few different supermarkets and gradually collect the cheeses that we want to try. I think we've got quite a good selection. We've not covered all the supermarkets, but we've got a lot of cheeses to try, so we'll let you know what they're like. I say we because I'm joined by my boyfriend, Joe.
Hello.
I thought that it would be a good idea for Joe to join because Joe isn't vegan and he's a big lover of cheese. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I haven't had proper cheese for 14 years now. So I thought he would be much better placed to judge which of these cheeses was most realistic. So although I can give a bit of a view on which ones taste nice, I'm not necessarily the best person to judge where they're most like the real thing. Also, some of these cheeses I've never tried before. I've never had halloumi, I've never had blue cheese. So Joe will be able to give us a much better view on which ones are best. So we'll go through each one.
Okay.
You excited?
Yeah. Lots of cheese.
There's a lot of cheese. We've also been doing a sort of health kick this week, so this is very exciting on many levels. We're going to start with the halloumi because that's hot. The halloumi is by Tesco Free From, and its main ingredient is water and modified potato starch. It's also got quite a lot of coconut oil in it. Most of these cheeses, actually the predominant ingredient is coconut oil. Its fat content is 18.1 grams, it's got 27.9 grams of carbohydrate and 0.4 grams of protein. And this is, that's about typical. I'll go through each of them for each cheese, the contents, but that's quite typical for vegan cheese. You don't tend to get high protein contents, which I personally find a little bit annoying. It used to be that you could find more easily sort of cashew nut cheeses and things that did have a decent protein content in them. And I just wanted to highlight that really because don't go thinking that you can sort of whack vegan cheese on a meal and it will make up for sort of a lack of protein. So you still need your tofu, your lentils or pulses or whatever to make up for that protein content. So let's go for the halloumi. Okay. So it's this one. So grab a fork. I've just heated this one up in the oven for about 10 minutes or so. Oh, I like that. It's quite salty. Now, what do you think? Because I've never had halloumi.
It is similar. It's good.
I always imagined halloumi to be quite rubbery, like from how it looks. It
is rubbery. You heat it up and it gets a bit squeakier, so I think less good. But that's nice, is it?
Bear in mind we've got a lot of cheeses to try. That was like 4 lumps of cheese that you just picked up there.
Well, you have to.
Oh yeah. You have to, yeah.
It's nice.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It tastes very cheesy.
I like the saltiness. Is that typical of halloumi?
Yeah, that is quite typical of halloumi. I wouldn't compare it to halloumi, but no. It's really nice. It's like a good, nice melted cheese. Okay,
so if we're going to score it for just how it tastes, regardless of whether it tastes like halloumi, do you think 5 out of 5?
It's the first one, but yeah, I think that's a 5 out of 5.
We're going to end up scoring them all 5 out of 5. And then what about for realisticness?
It's tough because it's not the same as halloumi, but it is realistic to cheese. So
let's say realistic to halloumi because it does market itself as an alternative to halloumi.
A 3.
A 3. Yeah. Okay, so we've got 8 out of 10 total for the halloumi. Okay, so that's the only hot one we've got to try. Next on the list we've got a couple of different cheddars. So we've got an Asda one, which is this one, again, Free From. Mature cheddar alternative. This one, its predominant ingredient is coconut oil again. It's got 21 grams of fat per 100 grams, 21 grams of carbs, and its protein content is less than 0.5 grams, so very low. And try it a bit. We've not got very much this one because I was eating this last week.
Oh, I see.
And it's kept in the fridge quite well though. It's quite crumbly.
It is quite crumbly, yeah.
Shall we try the other cheddar so we've got something to compare to
Yeah, sure.
before we score them? So the other one we've got, cheddar, is by Sainsburys, cheddar style. This one, its main ingredient's water, but it's actually got the same coconut oil content as the Asda ones, 21 grams again. It's per 100 grams, 22.9 grams of fat, 21.7 grams of carbohydrates and 0.7 grams of protein. So go for it. What do you think?
It's different to them.
It is. I think it's creamier. I think the Asda one's a bit more crumbly. I prefer the Asda one, I think.
Okay, so realism, they're both quite good, but the texture of the Sainsbury's one is more like cheddar cheese, I think.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah.
Because I prefer the texture of the Asda one.
Enough to try the Asda one again.
I think the Asda one's sort of crumblier and the Sainsbury's one's more smooth.
But you do get that in cheddar.
Yeah.
You get variations in cheddar in terms of the strength. And
well, this is mature, whereas this one just says cheddar style, in fairness.
So I think the taste is better from the Sainsbury's one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, texture is slightly better, more realistic from the Asda one.
Okay. I actually like the Asda one better, but let's say then, so taste-wise, what would you score them?
I'd give the Asda one 4.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Would you give Sainsbury's 5 then? Or do you think they're both 4 but the Sainsbury's one's a bit better?
No, I think I'd give the Sainsbury's one a 3 in the taste.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because it's the texture.
I thought you said it was the other way around. Okay. So you think the Sainsbury's one is more realistic though?
Yes.
So do you want to give the Sainsbury's one 4 out of 5 for realistic?
Yeah.
And Asda
is 3.
Is 3. So they've both got 7 out of 10.
They're both nice. They're both representative of different cheddars.
Yeah.
I think.
I prefer the Asda one, but it's probably personal taste, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, the Violife one I've got, it just says original flavour. Now, I don't think this is meant to taste like cheddar, because it doesn't. But again, this one, the main ingredient is water, but it's got the same coconut oil content, 21 grams. It's 21 grams of fat, 21 grams of carbohydrate, and 0 grams of protein. So no protein at all in this one. But I guess the great thing about Violife is you can get it pretty much anywhere. And it's quite nice melted.
Well, it's very different in texture. Isn't it?
It's quite rubbery, I think. And I do think it's a really good one for melting.
It's got the texture of like Edam cheese, that sort of rubbery cheese like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different.
It's not a cheddar, is it?
No, I wouldn't class it as. Okay, comparing it to the two before. I can imagine it melts really well. The sort of stuff you could have in a burger or melted on bread.
I think it's quite good in on pizzas and things as well. Like if you grate it up.
Oh yeah.
And actually you can, as with a lot of these cheeses, you can get them sort of pre-grated in bags.
Yeah, because it's very rubbery.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're let's compare that to Edam then, if we think that's what it's most like, because I think it's a bit open to interpretation.
Yeah, I think it's just like a middle. It's first on the market, been on the market a long time,
Yeah,
right? In
it's
terms
just
of an alternative.
Yeah, it's just well, I don't think it was first on the market actually. It's quite recent, but it seems to have good penetration. It's in all the supermarkets.
I see.
It's easy to get hold of.
So, taste. I have to give that one.
I mean, it doesn't taste of much, does it?
No, it's a 1 or a 2, a 1.5.
Do you think?
But what do you think?
Well, I think it's good for what it is. It isn't. You're right. It isn't the tastiest, but it's like that sort of cheese that doesn't taste of much. You know, when you have cheese on a pizza, you don't have it for the taste, really, do you? You have it for the texture.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's good for that.
Yeah, so maybe a 2.
Yeah.
Now, for being realistic, if I think Edam or maybe a mild cheddar, a rubbery mild cheddar, you could compare it to.
Yeah.
It does taste different. I'd probably go for a 3. It's a 2 or a 3 in how realistic it is.
I think it's probably a 2, to be honest. But it's good. I think it is good for what it is.
On a good day, 2.5, 3, but we'll go 2 today. Yeah.
It feels like we've been a bit generous so far. So that one's 4 out of 10, but we probably are being a little bit harsh there. Then we've got our Greek white, which is also by Violife actually. You've had this a few times.
I've had that before, yeah.
So this one is, main ingredient is coconut oil. It's actually got a higher coconut oil content, it's 29%. Then its fat is 29 grams. Carbohydrates 11 grams, 0 grams of protein again. So again, just kind of reiterating, I think with these vegan cheeses, they're not an alternative source of protein. For me, I think they're just nice to have as a treat. We don't get them every week even, or sometimes maybe like once a month or something. I mean, obviously we've got a lot to get through now.
Yeah, this is
this ruins the diet. But generally speaking, I think if you treat them as a treat, it's kind of fine. But don't sort of rely on them to really add nutritional value to your meal, I suppose is what I'm saying. So this Greek one, let's give it a go. Actually, I might have a bit of water first. Now, I don't really like this, but...
You don't?
No, but I never liked Greek cheese.
Okay.
So it's probably says something for how realistic it is that I don't like it.
It's the consistency is good. It's mushy. It is like you'd expect feta to be for that. It's quite salty. It's not overly salty, actually, but it is salty enough.
It's creamy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is creamy. I think it tastes nice.
I actually remember you had this once because we had a normal block of feta you were eating, and we had this, and you preferred this over the normal feta.
I did for the creaminess in the texture. I think it just because I had both side by side, and then having that, you had feta, which was a bit more crumbly and really salty, and that was similar but creamier. I said. So I mean, I like that one.
Okay, so I don't think I should give a score on this one because, like I say, I don't like this sort of cheese anyway. So I'll leave this one to you. What do you think for how tasty it is?
For taste, I'd give it a 4.
Okay.
And I think realistic, 4 as well.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd happily have that on salad. You know, if feta's not available, that's just as good.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the only Greek one we've got. Then we've got a smoked cheese by Applewood. So this one, and again, you can get this in quite a few of the supermarkets. I wouldn't say it's quite as readily available as the Violife, but it is in quite a few of the supermarkets.
I think it's worth commenting on the look of that one because Applewood make regular cow's milk cheese.
Yeah.
And it looks exactly like that when you buy it with the orange crust around it. So
does it?
Yeah. So it looks exactly the same.
See, I've never heard of Applewood, but then I wouldn't.
Yeah,
so.
Applewood smoked, yeah.
Have they been around for a long time?
Very long time, yeah. 10, 15 years at least.
Oh, okay. So this one, again, mainly water and coconut oil. Per 100 grams, it's got 24.6 grams of fat, 19.4 grams of carbohydrate and 1.5 grams of protein, which is the highest level of protein so far. I mean, it's not great, but it's it's better than the other ones we've tried. Have you tried this one before? Can't remember.
I can't remember. I'm not sure. Let me,
Oh, you got the bit with the red.
Oh, okay.
I really like this.
It's nice.
I like the smokiness.
Okay. It tastes very similar to Applewood smoked cheese.
Does it?
Because it's not really a natural cheese flavour, it's smoked cheese. So most smoked cheeses, you're buying it for a smoky taste. Now obviously
yeah, that's true.
that's
actually
been replicated.
So that's kind of hiding, not, I don't want to say hiding sins, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
Do you think texture wise it's nice? It's quite crumbly, isn't it?
I think how realistic the flavour is, they could definitely improve the texture to be like Applewood, from what I can remember Applewood being.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the others we've had, the texture, some of the textures the other ones have had with that flavour would be exactly like Applewood smoked cheese. Because it's normally quite soft, rubbery, and it's processed-ish sort of the one.
Yeah.
Whereas that feels less processed as in cheese, I think.
Okay. I think this is probably my favourite vegan cheese, but then saying that, I always liked smoked bits. Alright, well it's obviously quite good then. Could we give that 5 out of 5 for tastiness?
Yeah,
and then
I'm happy with that.
Do you think maybe mark it down a bit on the realism just based on the texture?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking a 2 or a 3. It's 2 being harsh.
Seems a bit harsh.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because it's quite I like it. It's quite crumbling.
I'm just comparing it to what I remember Applewood smoked cheese being like. So
fair.
Yeah, 2 is harsh, so it is nice. Let's go for a 3.
Okay. So that's 8 out of 10, all in. Now we've got a couple of cream cheeses. This one is another Sainsburys one. It's garlic and herb. Again, main ingredient water and coconut oil. Its coconut oil content is 23%. It's 26.3 grams of fat, 2.2 grams of carbohydrate and 6.6 grams of protein, which is higher than any of the other cheeses we've got. So pretty good actually. I'm just gonna try this one. Have you had this one before? I can't remember.
I've had a cream cheese. I'm not sure if it was the Sainsburys one.
Oh, I like that. Oh, you're going right in.
Why?
You like that?
Again, when you're buying a garlicky and herby cheese, really you're buying it for that taste. Now I think the taste in there is exactly the same as you'd get in, a real garlic and herb cheese.
Yeah. And texture-wise.
And texture-wise.
Nice, isn't it? Oh, we're double dipping, aren't we? I see.
Texture-wise, I generally can't tell the difference.
Really?
No.
Okay. That's good then.
You spread that on a cracker or have it what you're on, and you wouldn't know that's not cheese.
So is that a 5 out of 5 for both?
I think so.
Oh. So that's 10 out of 10.
I think also like a cream cheese and garlicky, that's probably an easy one to manufacture to do it as well, but they've done it really well. Because
you don't need to worry too much about, as long as you put enough garlic and herb in there, you're going to get the taste
but
the texture's
the texture is really good. It's like cream cheese.
Okay, cool. This one is Bath Culture House. This is from your hometown.
Midsummer Norton.
Midsummer Norton. We got it a while ago when we were in Bath from a sort of health food shop there, which I can't remember the name of now. Do you?
No.
Green something or other. We'll look it up and let you know. This one we've had for ages, but you keep it in the freezer until you're ready to eat it, and then you have to eat it within a few days. Now this is, I thought it was worth sharing with you. It doesn't have the contents in, but it's made from cashew nuts, so it's bound to have quite a good protein content. It's probably quite fatty as well because it's nuts, but still. It's a smoked, I can never say this.
Chipotle.
Chipotle. I always want to say chipotle.
I hope I said that right now. Mockery.
Chili cheese. And its main ingredient is cashews. So do you want to give it a go? Just dig in. Yeah. I'm not sure about this one. It looks a bit weird.
Smoked chipotle.
What do you think?
It's definitely smoked chili. It's nice.
I wouldn't call it a cheese though.
I've got nothing to compare it to because there's not really anything I'm aware of in the cheese market that does that.
To me, it feels a little bit like it's verging on a hummus in terms of its texture.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't think it's really like, it's not like a cream cheese, is it? I thought it was going to be.
What would you, in terms of putting it, you could put it on a cracker. It is like, it's more like, it tastes more like a hummus. Exactly how you said that to me actually.
It's nice.
It is nice.
But it's not like a cheese.
Difficult to score then.
Well, I think we can score it quite high on taste. Or score it however we want on taste, I guess. Just on realisticness, probably only give it a 0 or a 1.
Yeah, it's almost an NA in realism because it's sort of, because I don't want to, but yeah, sure. Taste? I like it.
4 or 5? 4?
4 with the gut, didn't we?
And then, but realistic, it's not, I think 0 out of 5 really. Or,
yeah, is it, or an NA or a 0, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we think 4 out of 10 overall. But it tastes nice, it just doesn't really taste like a cheese.
It's just not in the cheese category.
Yeah. Right, so now we've got your favourites.
Oh yes.
The blue cheeses.
I am partial to blue cheese. It is my favourite.
And as I said before, I've never had blue cheese, so this is
I think as a child, my
me.
Danish blue, Cube's Danish blue is why I started
as a
to like
child?
cheese. Well, okay, you know.
I thought it was quite an acquired taste, blue cheese.
No, easily when I was 10 and that, I really liked Danish blue.
You
strong salty blue cheese. Yeah.
Right, so we've got 2 blue cheeses to try because I know how much that you love them. One is called Ilchester. Now we found this the other week randomly in Sainsburys. When we got to the checkout, it didn't have a price on it, and it also doesn't have any content information on it, which seems a bit odd. So I think maybe they'd messed up with the labelling.
Well, Ilchester make a lot of cheese.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's some cheese in the fridge we've got, which are types of, Ilchester make quite a few different types of mild, mature cheddar. And
okay. That's good to know. So can't really tell you too much about this one. It does say on the front that it has spirulina in it. They've used that for the sort of colouring, which is good. Spirulina's.
I like the slogan they've put on the front as well. Perfect for cheese boards.
So that's quite good. Spirulina, I can't remember all the information about it, but it's quite a sort of superfood, I suppose. Got a lot of nutrients in it. Got a lot of things in it that vegans can't easily get from other foods. So, should we give this one a go?
Yeah. Oh, there's slightly blue bits in it.
Yeah, so that's the spirulina.
Oh, I see, okay.
Which is interesting because spirulina's got a really distinctive, not very nice flavour.
Oh, wow.
Is that good?
The taste is good, yeah.
Okay, you think it's realistic?
the taste is good. The texture is letting it down. It's quite rubbery again. It's similar to the block in texture. I've never had a rubbery blue cheese before.
Is it a new experience?
Yeah.
I wonder whether, do you melt blue cheese?
Not really.
Okay.
You do. You put it in sauce. You put it on a burger so it heats up. But
right. So
majority of blue cheese that's eaten is eaten.
Yeah.
You know, crackers and apples is, you know. So.
Assuming, actually, that's a good point. Assuming you can melt this one, it doesn't say anything on it to say you can't. I'm quite aware that when I first went vegan, you used to get cheeses for melting and cheeses that were non-melting, and if you put those in the oven they did just burn. Nowadays it seems like all vegan cheeses are suitable for melting, and they don't even really state that on the packet anymore, but this one,
I'm interested to know that why the bits of blue in it, because that's supposed to represent what blue cheese looks like, so obviously the blue veining in it, but that's, what's it called?
Spirulina.
Spirulina.
It says it's a source of B12 and calcium as well.
Okay, the taste is really good. Every time you have something, it tastes like nice blue cheese to it. Danish blue is what I'd put it closest to at the minute.
Well, shall we try, because we've got another blue cheese.
Yeah.
Shall we try that one and we can compare? So, this one is cheese. Cheese is, Cheese has been going for years and years. They've been in places like Holland and Barrett ever since I went vegan 14 years ago at least. So they're quite, they're quite sort of high up in the market. I mean, you don't necessarily get a lot of them in the supermarkets, but you can easily get them in Holland and Barrett and places. This is one of the ones that used to have the melting and non-melting, and on their packet now, I mean, I can't see anything about it saying whether it's melting or non-melting, so I think they must all be suitable for melting. So this one, again, main ingredient, water and coconut oil. Coconut oil contents 21%. It's got 21.8 grams of fat, 21.3 grams of carbohydrate and 0.1 gram of protein. So that's good. So let's see whether you like this one better than the Ilchester?
Ilchester, yeah. Oh, wow. So the texture
is better.
Is much better. It's not as rubbery. It's much more like blue cheese.
I don't like that very much, but then...
But the taste is nice.
Oh, okay. So do you think the taste is more realistic for that one? And the texture is more for
if you could
one?
mix those two, if you could take the taste from the Ilchester and put that on the cheese and keep it and swap the texture over, you'd have one amazing one and one not very good one at all.
Right, okay. So basically what we're suggesting is that Ilchester and cheese come together and form a merger, and then they will have the perfect blue cheese. I don't really like the taste of that one very much at all.
But you liked the taste of the Ilchester one?
The Ilchester one was quite nice.
Okay, I think that one's a milder taste as a blue cheese than the Ilchester one. It's the same sort of taste. I think they've captured the essence of blue cheese well.
It's very strong for me, but then I've never had normal blue cheese, so...
You've never had it?
No.
Welcome.
Yeah, like having that one again, it just tastes more subtle.
This one? Oh, the texture lets it down so much. Yeah, still what I said, the texture.
Texture of this one, taste of this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we giving them? I mean, how do you think they compare well though to blue cheeses generally?
They're both not as strong. There's so many blue cheeses out there.
Yeah.
Like you got Stilton and Danish Blue and lots of other ones, Dulce Latte and that sort of thing. Most blue cheeses are very strong. Both of them are not that strong, but the essence of it, the taste is there, especially the Ilchester one. So I'd be tempted to give the Ilchester one I'm quite critical because it's blue cheese, of course, but I want to. It's a 3.5, but it's a 3 or a 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what do you think for the?
I really like. Well, I think let's mark it just based on tastiness first, and then have the separate score as we do for realism. So I think tastiness wise, I like the taste of that. I don't know what it's meant to taste like, but I think it's a nice tasting cheese.
So would that bring it up to a 4?
For me, yeah.
Okay.
But if you think it should be marked
well,
down,
I went 3.5 to 4 on the fence, so a 4 is okay.
But you think you like the taste but not the texture. So what do you think for that one? Like a 3
for
or
the texture?
A 2? Well, for the texture and like how close is it to blue cheese?
2.
A 2.
Yeah.
But you did think it tasted quite good.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a 6 out of 10. And then what about the
Which
cheese?
seems harsh, but it is.
Okay. It is, but it's your area, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you know. They might be judged harshly.
And then this one,
but
the cheese.
I don't like that. But then maybe I wouldn't have liked blue cheese. You know?
I suspicion you wouldn't have done it. It's a very strong, salty flavour.
Probably not.
Taste is a 2 for me, 3 tops.
Is that separate from how close it is to blue cheese? Just how you think it tastes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So 2?
What do you think?
Well, I don't like it, but...
Okay, a 2.
And then, but you think it's quite realistic?
And the texture is a 4. The realism.
Okay. And the taste is good as well? You don't think it's a 5?
No.
No? So it's a 4. So actually that one's got 6 out of 10 as well, but it's just that the...
Well, that's what we said. Yeah. So
that does match. Okay, that makes sense. So let's see what we've got here. So we've got quite a few ties, but actually the one we liked the least was unfortunately the Bath Culture House one. Although, you know, I suspect that's probably got a good protein.
I think we have to caveat that.
Yeah, it's not really
we liked it,
cheese.
but I don't think it belongs in the cheese category.
Yeah, okay. So if we kind of discount that one.
I think that's just a labelling or categorisation thing.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. So if we discount that one, actually the 2 that have scored the worst are the blue cheeses at 6 out of 10, which is probably partly because you're such a connoisseur of blue cheese.
Yeah, maybe I've done them a disservice there.
Then we had the Asda and Sainsburys cheddars, both tying on 7 out of 10. And then quite a lot of them had 8 out of 10. So the halloumi we gave out 8 out of 10. The BioLife Greek and the Applewood all had 8 out of 10. I do wonder now actually, the halloumi, I think maybe we judged it a little bit harshly because it was the first one.
What did the halloumi score?
8 out of 10. I actually thought that was really nice. But we gave
No, I think that...
Oh, it was the texture that let it down though?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think the halloumi, which other one scored 8 out of 10?
The Applewood and the BioLife Greek.
No, I think that's fair.
You stand by that?
I think they're good high scoring for a smoked cheese, a Greek stroke feta, whatever you want to call it. And that one, the halloumi one, I think they're all good. I think they're worthy of 8 out of 10 for what they are there.
Okay.
Because they're all very different cheeses.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fair enough. And then, so our top winner is the Sainsburys garlic and herb. That's number 1. I mean, obviously that's a little bit, it's our favourite out of all the cheeses, but it's not so versatile. You're not going to have that.
No.
I suppose you could have it on pizzas and things.
Jacket potatoes, pizzas.
Yeah, be nice. But mainly you're going to have it on crackers, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you put it in a lot of recipes. There's a lot of cream cheese with herbs in recipes.
That's true. A few of the times we've had it in sort of pasta, haven't we?
Yeah.
So it's really nice with like pasta and roasted veg, and then we'd put some chickpeas or butter beans or something in for protein. So that's a good one. Okay, cool. Oh, the one other thing I was going to mention, my favourite cheese of all time is called the Gusto. Now I've kept looking on there online and not been able to get hold of it. I looked again this morning and they're actually finally back, which is unfortunate that I couldn't get some in time to show you guys. It is a lot more expensive than these sort of supermarket cheeses. It's like $6.99 for quite a small block, but it used to be really nice. It's mainly water and coconut oil. It actually has quite a bit of almond butter in as well. Now I thought it was made of cashew nuts, so I don't know whether they've changed the recipes or just whether it's me misremembering. But it's got 4.6 grams of protein, so actually still not as high as the Sainsburys garlic and herb, but it is generally higher protein than the other cheeses, and it has more variety. You know, they do.
I've never tried it. I'm quite looking forward to it.
We'll have to get some and do a bit of an update, because I'd like to see whether it is as nice as it used to be. The carbohydrate and fat content are about comparable with the other cheeses we've spoken about. So I hope that was helpful. I mean, obviously it's our opinions, so other people might feel differently. Please comment actually to say what you think of these cheeses and other cheeses you've tried. If you've got opinions on other supermarket brands that you think people might like to know about, that'd be good to know, because we got round to Asda, Sainsbury's, Tesco, but we didn't get round to the others. So please comment on that. And comment generally on what you'd like to see in future episodes, whether you'd like to see Joe again or whether you'd rather he was left out of things. And yeah, you can follow me as always. I'm on Facebook and Twitter as @VeganVeteranUK, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.